Welcome to Warriors Conversations. I'm Dr. Daniel Johnson, president here at Wisconsin Lutheran College. And in this video series, I'm interviewing the Christian servant leaders that are just making such an impact here at WLC. And today I'm in our chapel with our newest campus pastor, Pastor Nate Wordell. He joined our staff this past July, and Nate graduated from Martin Luther College in 2012, Wisconsin Lutheran Seminary in 2016. And prior to coming to WLC, he was a tutor, tennis coach, and Latin teacher at MLC. And most recently, he served as an associate pastor of Mount Olive Lutheran Church in Appleton, Wisconsin. He's married to Rachel, and they have a toddler named Soren. Nate, maybe let's just begin with what you knew about WLC prior to joining us, and really what brought you here to serve our ministry.
Yeah, thanks for asking. That question is a big part of why I'm here. I had a good sense of what was going on at WLC. When I was an undergrad at Martin Luther College, I had some connection to this college through the Center for Urban Teaching, participated in some volunteer opportunities, and then when I went to the seminary, which is just a few miles north of here, of course, I got to serve as a campus vicar for 2 years. So helping out a few days a week, leading worship on campus with the students back then. That left a huge impression on me and has been formative not just for my time at WLC, but even the way I served in Appleton and at Martin Luther College. Then after I was a tutor at Martin Luther College, I had a lot of dorm experience working with res halls. And so I have come back kind of annually to talk with the student life staff and the residents life staff here at WLC. So I had a few connections, but then when I was considering working here full-time, I learned a whole lot more about WLC and the culture that has been fostered here over 50 years, the culture of what we preach, right? The servant leadership, that left a huge impact. And the opportunity to come and be part of that culture and also help serve students who are developing in that culture was awesome. And so I knew a little bit, but I'm learning a whole lot more, and I'm just really appreciating my time so far.
Your focus is the spiritual growth of our campus family outside of the classroom. And what have you been doing to accomplish that?
Yeah, so the regular events are things like chapel services 5 times a week, Bible study opportunities led by pastors, other Bible study opportunities led by our new campus vicars from the seminary. Other opportunities include our late night worship, Vespers to kind of close down the day. And then I think it comes down to just one-on-one ministry with a lot of people. It's sitting across a lunch table, it's inviting people in to just try to figure out, first of all, where are they at, and then also help them take the next step in their walk with Jesus.
You know, our campus ministry team, y'all host a lot of events to really reach our students. And maybe what are some of those activities?
Yeah, what's really awesome about doing those kind of activities at WLC is that we get to integrate the campus ministry right along with the whole rest of the college. So I get a chance to work with the Res Life staff to schedule one-on-one interviews with every new student. The admissions department doesn't make that easy. They got a record-setting freshman class here. That's a lot of students for me to get to know, which is the best part of my job. So, working with them. Sometimes I interact with the academic department where I'm substitute teaching or taking just the introduction to a lesson to introduce them to some of the things that we're doing. There's Hot Dog Day, where kind of started by some of my predecessors in campus ministry, but we fry up a bunch of hot dogs and have students out to come and just talk and get to know each other kind of in a less formal way. And then we've got some exciting things coming back. We kind of took a pause as we were, reducing our close contact with everybody for the last few years, but we're back with our winter retreat this year. We'll go get a couple cabins up north and do kind of outdoor winter Bible study and some activities. So those are chances where you can kind of get past the interactions that you have at chapel, which are beautiful, but it's kind of me talking at people. And you get down to, well, as you are sitting on the front part of the sled and I'm sitting on the back part of the sled, I got to get to know who you really are, right? And so I'm really looking forward to that kind of stuff. And it's been great to get to know the students. That's the highlight of the year so far.
Well, that's great. Our campus chapel services are really continuing to evolve. And maybe tell us about some of the recent enhancements.
Yeah, so what I have picked up on right away is that WLC has a really strong tradition of really awesome chapel services. So it starts first and foremost with consistent messages from God's Word that apply directly to the lives of students for sure, but then also the staff and the visitors that we have, the faculty who come to chapel all the time. But I think I've also, in the short time here, like seen really intentional efforts to grow and to improve. You can just hear amazing messages from the preachers, and I've just like seen those improve incrementally too. And I'll sometimes say to my wife Rachel, like when we go to church on Sunday, I'm like, listen, if Soren, our 1-year-old, starts crying, I'll take him out, because I go into church like 5 times this week already, and I had just soul uplifting messages 5 times already. So it starts with the message that I'm getting every day. And then when I get to participate, I've got to bring my A game, right? Because it's some really high quality gospel ministry going on. But then the music, we've got professional level musicians who are employed at WLC in different areas. We've got students who are studying music as their full-time performance majors and music majors, music education majors. And so the amount of musical gifts that happen here are great. And the thing that I'm seeing us grow in more and more now is using all of the talents that God has given this campus. If in the Disney Pocahontas, he says you got to paint with all the colors of the wind. I would say we want our chapel to be singing with all the voices that God has given this group of people. We've got a gospel ensemble now that sings gospel music. They sing some contemporary music. We've got more than one group of students who put together worship ensembles that have, drums and guitars. We've got horn players, violin players. We've got tremendous keyboard players and organ. The WLC Christmas this year just featured all of them all in chapel at the same time, playing all together, and it brought the house down. It was just awesome. So I think we're growing in that too, to use all the talents that God has given us.
So you've been here 6 months now. Maybe what are some of the things that have stood out?
Yeah, I gotta probably start with the students who I get to interact with. We've got 5 students who work in the campus ministry office to help us get ministry done. And those students, to just witness their commitment to putting Jesus in front of students in all their unique individual ways. We've got students in there who are studying biology, and students who study music, and students who are interested in theology, but they take whatever their natural gifts are from God, their Father, and they use them to help other students get to know Jesus. That's just a microcosm of what I see across the campus. So many students who care about others, who want to serve others, and who care about Jesus. That's really cool. Another highlight, I would say, getting to know the faculty and staff. So the students, are in, and then they're such a blessing while they're here, but the staff has to be that same attitude that I just described for students, that the staff has to be committed to serving students and loving them. And that's just a highlight for me to see that happen in everybody's unique way. But I'll tell you the most intriguing thing about my work here at WLC is that this place is a lot like the real world, in that we've got students who have been lifelong Christians. They've been Christians since they were little babies. And then we've got students who are just a little bit familiar with Jesus, and they're learning a whole lot while they're here. We've got students who are living the best years of their Christian lives here, as far as a faith perspective goes. And then we've got students who are learning to grow in their faith a lot more while they're here. And we get to be in front of all that variety in this big community of diverse people. We get to be there with the message of Jesus, that there's one main problem we all got called sin, and there's one big solution that God sent. His name is Jesus. We get to be the people who bring that message to people wherever they're at. And that's what WLC is all about. That's what Jesus was all about. That's the most challenging thing about my job, is to meet students where they're at with the message of Jesus, but it's also the most fun thing. And so I'm just feeling super blessed to be here, very happy to be part of this Christian servant leader culture, and do my part to help students stay strong.
Wow. Well, thank you, Nate. We're just so glad that God has brought you here to us, and just God's continued blessings as you just continue to nurture the spiritual life of our WLC campus family. So thank you. And if you'd like to learn more about WLC, or learn more how you perhaps could support our ministry, you can go to our website at wlc.edu. Thank you.